The classified paper 2, topic 2.3, which is about the thermal transfer of the thermal energy, like the methods of conduction, convection, and radiation. The first one, the diagram shows a pan used for cooking. Which row is correct for the material used to make the base and the handle? So the material which we use, because we want a conduction to happen, so it should be made up of good conductor. And the handle of the pan, we use to hold the pan from the handle, so we should not feel the heat, so this should be made up of insulator. So the base should be a good conductor, and the handle of the pan should be an insulator, like made up of plastic or wood. In question 2, the diagram shows the 4 rod. Each rod is made of different metal. And a wax is attached to a small, the wax is used to attach the small metal balls at the rod PQR, at the end PQR and S. So the question is, each rod is of same size and they're heated at point X. As a rod warm up, the wax melt and the ball falls off. Why does the ball on the silver rod falls first? So we have, like, all of them are conductor: copper, silver, brass, iron, all are conductors, but some are better conductor than others. So silver is a better conductor than other. That's why the ball will fall first. Like when the wax will melt, as the wax melted, the ball will fall, because what they mention here, they place a wax here and the ball is placed on the wax. So when the wax will melt, the ball will fall. Because the silver is a good conductor, as all of them are conductors, but like when we compare, the rate of conduction is not same for all type of the metal. Some are better conductors than other. Four cups A, B, C, and D contain hot coffee. Which cup keep the coffee warm the longest time? So first thing, like buying a hot drink, first thing, there should be a lid placed on the hot drink. So there must be a lid placed on the hot drink. When there is a lid placed on the hot drink, it reduces the rate of the evaporation. So the top should be place a lid. Then what about the outside? It's not about inside, it's about outside the surface of the cup. So when outside the surface of the cup is dark in color. So dull and dark surfaces are good absorbers. So it will absorb, even the coffee is already hot, and outside it's a dull and dark surface. So it will absorb greater amount of energy and it transfer that energy to the coffee. So the coffee will remain warm for a longer period of a time. So the outside of the cup should be black, because black surfaces. If it was a white, then what will happen? Because white surface is not a good absorber, so the hot coffee start to lose energy to the surrounding. But because the outside is black, so it will absorb greater amount of energy. As a result, the coffee will remain warm, as it cannot lose its energy to the surrounding. So the coffee cup should have a lid, and it should be dark in color for the effectiveness, like to be effective or keep the substance warm for a longer period of a time. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Then we have, this is about the convection. The diagram shows a view of a room. So what will happen? The hot air is having a low density. So hot air will rise. And as a result, what will happen? The cold air will sink. So air temperature, it will be higher at X, and the density because this is the cold air will sink. The cold air will have a high density as the particles are closer. Hot air is having low density because the particles have large spacing between them. So at X, the temperature will be higher and the air density is higher at Y because it's a cold air. So the particle will move down and it will set up a convection current. Then we have question 5. Some hot water is sealed inside a metal can and the can is vacuum outside. So there's a can which is having a vacuum outside. There's a vacuum here. And the hot water slowly cool down. So the water cool down slowly. So because this is a metal can, so if this is a hot water and it's a metal can, so the energy will transfer by conduction. Because in conduction, between the within the metal, a conduction happen, or between the two surfaces, conduction happen. And then what, because first the conduction happen and through the vacuum, the radiation can travel through the vacuum. So first, even between the hot water and the metal can, it's a conduction, and after conduction, it will be a radiation. Why no convection is there? Why we did not mention convection? Because convection is a transfer of heat energy within the liquid or a gas or a fluid. It's not like within the liquid, it's how it loses energy to the surrounding. So it loses energy to the surrounding first by conduction, like between the metal and the hot water, and then by radiation, which can travel through vacuum. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Why we did not use the term evaporation, even though evaporation is also a cooling effect, but evaporation is not the method of heat transfer. Conduction, convection, and radiation are the methods of heat energy transfer. In question 6, a metal bar, a bar of a metal which is a good thermal conductor, is heated at one end. The main method, energy transfer. So what actually happen is, when we have in a metal, we have a lattice of the positive ion. It's about the metal. So what happened in a conduction? So when we supply the heat energy, we heat one part. So this causes a lattice vibration and transfer energy. That's one. There's also another method which majority, because the electrons gain energy and they collide with the lattice and transfer energy. So lattice vibration is correct. Electron transfer is also correct. But what is the main method? Mainly what happened, the electrons shifted from one end of a metal to another by the heat and they transfer energy. Even though lattice vibration is correct, but the question is main method. So the main method is by electron transfer. And atoms, there are no atoms in the metal. There are ions present, the positive ions are there. So that is a lattice vibration actually. Is it clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. Question 7. 4 thermometers are there with their bulbs painted different colors. So we have, like example, 4 thermometers. Which thermometer shows the slowest temperature rise? If it is a dull black, one of the bulb is a dull black, one is dull white. So one is dull black, another one is dull white, another one is shiny black. So shiny black will be a good reflector. The surface is shiny. and the other one is a shiny white. So which shows the slowest temperature rise. So this is dull black. The dull black surfaces are good absorbers, so it will absorb maximum. Maximum amount of energy will be absorbed. This is dull but white. So it will also absorb, but because of the white color, it may reflect some, but it will absorb. This is shiny black. So it is shiny means it will be good reflector, and black means it can absorb as well. And the last one is a shiny white. So shiny white is a good reflector. So as a result, when the radiations fall, it will reflect maximum amount of radiations. So as it reflects the maximum amount of radiation, it will show a smaller change in temperature. Is it clear? Question 7.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next we have question 8. A glass contain an ice drink on a warm and a humid day. The water start to form on the outside of the glass. Look, what actually happened, maybe you have seen, like if you remove the water bottle or any cold object outside the fridge or a refrigerator and you keep it outside, so there's a condensation happen. So why the condensation happen? Because this substance is a cold. So when the air molecule, when the water vapors come in contact, so the water vapor energy transfer to this cold object. So as a result, the water vapors will condense and form a water droplet. So because of the condensation, this happen or occur. Question 9, one end of a copper bar is heated. So what is a mechanism? So it is by the lattice vibration and the movement of electrons. So that's the conduction, because in a conduction, what will happen? There is a lattice vibration, the ions will vibrate and transfer energy. That is one. The ions will vibrate and transfer energy, and the movement of electrons as well. So both happen. The main is the electron movement, and the secondary is the lattice vibration. Like, but both happen. Then we have the diagram shows the diagram shows a convection current caused by a ice placed in a beaker. So what will happen when the water molecules will become cold after transferring energy to the ice? They will sink. Why they will sink? Because they will have a high density. And as a result, the hot water molecule will rise. So temperature at P, because the cold molecule will sink, so the temperature will be low and the density of the P will be higher. Because cold molecules closer, tightly packed, the density will be higher. Is it clear, this one? Question 10. Any doubt in this? Yes,
Okay.
any? Okay. So this was about the methods of heat energy transfer.